Good morning, 128 friends. Today we're going to finish reading our book in the small pond. We are going to do our second lesson, all right? So before we start reading our book, I wanted to talk to you about something. I want us to remember what were rhyming pairs. Remember we talked about it. Rhyming pairs are words that sound the same in the middle and the end. So when I said red and bed, I have a rhyming pair. So now let's think about the word red. What words can we think of that rhyme with red? Let me use some letters. I'm gonna use some letters. So I'm gonna put these letters here and I'm gonna write the word red so you can see it. This is the word red. Let's think about 2 or 3 more words that can rhyme with red. What about lead? I'm gonna use the letters to write the word lead. Red and lead, that rhymes. Now let's think of another word. We have red, lead. What about the word bed? We have the word bed. This is the word bed. Now let's think of a last word. We have red, lead, bed. Let's switch. Remember we were playing about switching the beginning sound when we know that the last 2 letters are going to be the same, are going to be matching letters. So let's switch the b sound for a sounds. And then we have the word med. So we have 4 words and they all rhyme with the word red that we have up here. So how do we know that they are rhyming words? Because they sound the same in the middle and the end of the word. Red, lead, bed, and med. Those are all rhyming words. And if we put them together by twos, like this, red and lead, they're a rhyming pair. And if we put bed and med, they're also a rhyming pair. Now, let me show you something, little trick. We can also be looking at the words carefully, and if we recognize some letters, in this case, I know I can see a E and a D, lowercase e and lowercase e, the middle and the end of the word. But guess what, friends? I can see the E and D at the end of the other words too. So that's also a clue that tells me that these words might be rhyming pairs. All right, so now I want to show you some pictures on the iPad and I want you to think of what word do you think it is, okay? So this is the word head. Red and head, what do you think? Does that sound the same to you? Red, head. That rhymes. That's true. Those are rhyming words. Now we have red and bed. Preschoolers, do we have the word bed on our list? Yes, we do. It's right here. This is the word bed. Does that rhyme? Yes, so we can say that rhymes. Now let's find the next word. Bread. Red bread. Yes, we can say that rhymes. However, preschoolers, if you were close to me, I will have shown you that these words, I'll put it there. The word bread doesn't quite look the same as red at the end, but they do sound the same. And that's all for now. Now what we can do is we can start reading our book, okay? We're going to start reading, and as we read, preschoolers, let me put my pen on the side. As we read, we are going to be thinking of the setting of our pages, of our story, and we're also going to try to summarize each page, okay? So we know this is our front cover, and this is the title of our book, and it says, In the Small Pond. And do you guys remember that the little name down here is always the author? So the author is Denise Fleming. And we have our title page. We have the title, the author, and a little bit more of information down here. In the small, small pond. Preschoolers, what do we notice about this page? Can I show you something? It's very similar to the cover page. It's almost as if this face is happening just a little bit of what's happening on the cover page. We see here the frog jumping, and here, preschoolers, if you look carefully, you see the legs of that frog. It already went inside the paddle. So let's keep reading, all right? Wiggle, jiggle, tadpoles, wriggle. So remember how we talked about tadpoles the first time we read our book? And remember how I showed you that in this case, the word wriggle, we don't see all the letters together. We see the letters kind of moving. Remember we did move like the letters the last time? You can do that now. And you can see the same effect here in the word jiggle and wiggle. The letters are doing what the word says. Waddle, way, geese, parade. Preschoolers, what's happening in this page? I see a lot of color, and I see that things are still happening next to the pond or in the pond. And I see a big, big mama goose and the little babies following. They're going inside the pond. What do you think it is? If we think of the season, what season do you think this page represents? I see a lot of green, and I see the birds coming back. So this might look like what? This reminds me of spring. Oh, remember we talked about the word geese. We said that geese is a word that tells us that there are more than one, what? There are more goose, right? Hover, shiver, wings quiver. Drowse, doze, eyes, close. You see, we can see the totals, and we can see a lot of color around the pond. Lash, lunge, heron, splunge. Splitter, splatter, minnows, scatter. Remember we talked about minnows? What was the word minnows? What did it mean? Minnows are these little fish that we see down here. Those are minnows. Do you still think it's spring, preschoolers, or do you believe that things are changing? I see a lot more color on the pages, and I see flowers that I didn't see before. And so I'm thinking, as the pages move, the season is also changing. I'm thinking this is showing us summer at the pond. Circle, swirl, whirligig, twirl. And remember, if I put the book close, you'll see all those circles around these little bags. Right? You can make that movement with your finger too. Sweep, zoop, swallows, scoop. Oh, look who's here looking. Carefully, it's the same frog from the first page. Remember? Click, clack, close, crack. Double, deep, tails, flip. Remember how we discussed the last time? We were thinking, what are the birds doing? Really trying to reach the bottom of the pond. And some of you said, well, they're trying to eat. They're trying to get things to eat. What do you think they're trying to eat? What are things that they can eat at the bottom of the pond? Think about it. Oh, preschoolers, this is one of my favorite pages. It says, splish, splash, pause, flash. What is different on this page? What is changing in our book? Oh, I see a lot of color around, but it's different than the other pages. I see a lot of blue and green in these pages, but here I see a lot of yellow. And guess what? I see a dry leaf. What is this telling us? I think the book is showing us that fall is coming on this story. Pile, pack, muskrats stuck. And there's still our frog. He's almost on every page. You see, they are stacking. They're getting their houses, their dens ready. And on our next page, we see something so different than all the other pages. Look at this page. It was so full of color, so full of yellow, and now we see things drying out, and we see some snow. It says chill, breeze, winter, freeze. So things are changing, and as the things on the books are changing, on the book are changing, so the time is passing. So this was probably around fall, but this snow is definitely telling us that winter is really close in the story. And we even have the word winter here. Cold night, sleep tight, small, small pond. And preschoolers, who's there? Ready to sleep for the winter. Our friend the frog, who was on the first page, ready to jump into the pond. All right, preschoolers, so now I have one more thing that I want to do with you. I want to talk about things that we like about nature, all right? So since you guys are not close to me and I can now hear your stories, what we're gonna do is we are going to try to think of experiences that we have in nature. Something that you did recently or a long time ago, doesn't matter, that you went out in nature and you did something like taking a walk or finding a rock or collecting leaves or touching the snow or when you saw a pond or an animal. So I'm gonna tell you my story and I want you to listen carefully to the parts that I'm going to put on my story, okay? I'm not gonna write my whole story, but I'm gonna write a few words, okay? So I really like planting flowers. And so what do I do when I really like to plant flowers? What should I do? So first, I usually go get seeds and get the pots ready to plant my seeds. After planting my seeds, I will usually take care of the seeds and put water and water my plants and wait for it to sprout and grow. And then at the end, I will usually, after taking lots of good care of my seeds in my pot, I will get beautiful, nice flowers in my garden, and I'll put them in my garden. So that's my experience. That's the experience that I want to share about nature. When you share your experience, I want you to think on 3 words, and maybe your grown-up can help you with this. These 3 words are first, then we have the word then, and we have one more word. Last. Those 3 words. Oh, they don't look very good, but the words are first, then, and last. Those words are going to help you tell a story that has a beginning, a middle, and an end. The beginning, remember we said that you give an idea of what your story is going to be about. Then in the middle, you tell something that happened, of a problem or a situation. And then at the end, you tell the person that is listening to you how you saw the problem or how the situation was solved. In this case, first I wanted to plant flowers, so I went to get seeds. Then I plant my seeds, so I put it in the pot, and then I add water to it. And last, I took care of my seed. I wait, and then finally my flowers came out, and I put my flowers in the garden. So I use the first, then, and last words to help me tell the little story. All right, preschoolers, I hope you enjoy this lesson, and I know it's shorter than what we usually do, and I know that a lot of what we do and has to do with what you're interested into, but today it's just all about Miss Oliva for now. But please let your grown-ups, if you have any questions or anything that you would like to know more about this book and about this lesson, please let your grown-up know. And grown-ups, if you have any question, please don't hesitate on emailing me those questions, and I'll help you answering that. Thank you very much.